Good afternoon, everyone. I know from time to time we may struggle with coming up with titles for our novels and short stories, so how exactly can we come up with them? Well, that's what I'll be going into with today's episode, so let's get right into it. Method 1. Character names and traits. You all know about my Death Chill trilogy, which was named after the main character's last name, Death Chill. Instead of going for Death Chill Book 2/3, I wanted them to have their own titles but still be able to be linked to the original Book 1. So I decided to have the next one be Flame Rip, so as in flame, fire being one of the main character's powers, and rip as in RIP due to death being one of the main character's powers. Then, for Arctic Blaze, I did the final combo of Arctic, cold being the final one of the main character's powers, and Blaze, once again referencing her fire. There are plenty of other examples of stories titled by the characters. There's The Great Gatsby, Sherlock Holmes, and so much more. But even if you don't want to title your story with a name, then no worries. There are a few other methods and ways you can go about it coming right up. Method 2. Key themes and symbols. For my current series, Shrouded Personas, the theme behind it is that everyone is hiding their true selves. So throughout the 8 books, I'll be working with the synonyms of those words, so it can be Clouded Souls for Book 2, and so on and so forth. There are many other themes you can work with as well. For instance, themes surrounding renewal and rebirth can be given titles involving spring, new dawns, new years, the sprouting of a flower, and so much more. Method 3. Plot and conflict. I find out a lot of good thrillers tend to have their titles centered around the plot and conflict of their story, whether it be The Girl on the Train, The Good Wife, Where I Lost Her, and so on. There are also a few other non-thriller stories with these sorts of titles, like The Hunger Games, for example. So, if you're working on a thriller, I personally recommend having your title focus on more of the plot or conflict, but in the end, you're not required. Do whatever sounds best to you. Method 4. Setting and atmosphere. You can also have your title centered around a place. For instance, I never read it, but Howl's Moving Castle counts under this method, as well as Wuthering Heights, Vampire Academy, and so on. Method 5. Wordplay and puns. Puns and wordplay are definitely a good way to come up with book titles. When I was researching for the episode, I found a good one that made me smile, which was titled Tequila Mockingbird, like the alcohol. So that was nice. There are also a few other good ones as well, like Good Omens and Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Method 6. Quotations and literary references. There are tons of stories out there with titles that come from quotes and references from other stories, quite a few of which are from Shakespeare. So for example, The Fault in Our Stars, Brave New World, Infinite Jest, The Sound and the Fury are all titles that came to be from Shakespeare. Granted, not every title with a quote or reference is from Shakespeare, but a shocking large amount of them are. And of course, finally, Method 7. A title generator on the internet. There are plenty of good ones out there. Some you just press a button and they'll show you tons of titles you can use, while others will give you the ability to share some information about your story, which will certainly help with getting more precise examples. And well, that's all for this week's episode. Feel free to tell me down in the comments below or on the Q&A for my Spotify listeners what story titles you have come up with recently and what gave you the idea for them. Check out my novels on Amazon and Kobo, link in the description. Check out Quill and Scroll Stash in the description. Check out Creative Writing Club Discord server in the description. Check out my personal Instagram at dark_night_wolves. And now let's get to coming up with titles and creating glorious stories of glory and creativity.